So slope is a ratio of rise over run. It's just a comparison about how high up are you going to go to how far over. They used to call the big tall buildings in big cities high rises. I just thought about that. I don't think I hear that expression much anymore. But it's a high rise. It means it's going to rise up quite a bit compared to the base there. Okay, y-intercept. What's this one called then? Thank you. What's that one called? X-intercept. And what's nice about lines that cross the axes is either the x-coordinate is 0 or the y is 0. Now, if I have an x value here, which coordinate has to be 0? Can't be the x. X is not 0, is it? But so then the y-coordinate's 0. We usually call the x-intercept a0. A comma 0. And then we have two forms for equations. We have slope-intercept. That's the one we started with. It's great if I have the right information. If I don't, then it's not so great. Anybody know what that's called? Y equals mx plus b. So you're going to have to find the slope, and you're going to have to find the y-intercept. That's it. And then we have point slope form. And so what does point slope form look like? That's the one I like. It comes from the slope formula. Remember what slope formula is? Slope is y minus y1 over x minus x1. Because if I know where it comes from, maybe I can remember the formula. That's just the slope. So you should write this down, because this is what you can use on your tests, quizzes, because you're gonna, that pink worksheet, which I haven't given you, it's got them all, well, kind of mixed up, kind of not, though. And then what do we do with that? We cross multiply. So here's the formula. Y minus y1 equals the slope x minus x1. Oops, I didn't want x1 there. Sorry. X minus x1. And I'll highlight the numbers you put in here. That's the y coordinate. That's the x coordinate. And this is the slope. So all those colors are the numbers you're going to put in there. So let's do a problem. I'll make something up. And I personally think the table way of getting slope is the easiest way to do it. There. I just want to make sure I was going to not get a fraction. If I get a fraction, for sure I use point slope. But let's do this one. I have to find everything. I have to find the y-intercept, I have to find the slope, or I can use point slope, but we'll do it all. So how do you find the slope? Now you can use slope formula, or you can look here. You're starting at -2, temperature's 2 below, then it drops to 4 below. What's the temperature done? Gone up or down? It's 2 degrees below 0, then it's 4 below 0. So it's gone down how many degrees? 2. That's the run. And Nick, how about this one? You go from 3 to 5. Jake, do you know how to do it? You start at 3, you go to 5. How many has that changed? 2. So what's the slope equal to? Wait, careful. You got to do rise over run. So it's, how about the right over the left? Does that help? Over -2. So the slope is what? -1. Now you could do y equals mx plus b, but honestly, I'd rather take one of those points and put it into this formula here. What's the y coordinate? In this, let's use this ordered pair. Executive decision here.
3.
The y coordinate is 3. Get them straight. And by the way, calculus students get them mixed up too. I get them mixed up. So you just have to think a little bit, that's all. That's equal to the slope. What's the slope? We just found it. -1. And then it's x minus, and what's the x value? Not 2. The y value, this is x, this is y. The y value is 3, so what's x equal to? -2. Do you guys see that? But you forgot some of this from last week. Well, I'm okay with that, actually, but let's go ahead and get it to y equals mx plus b form, because we can. Now, before I do the distributing here, what's going to happen with the two negatives? Yeah, so what do I end up with? X minus 2 or x plus 2? Two negatives make a positive 2. You guys awake? Time change is getting you. Yeah, Minnie didn't want to get up yesterday. She said, you got to be kidding me. Okay, now we will solve for y. So y minus 3, and we distribute. Some of you are having problems remembering to distribute the -1 all the way through. It's -1 times x and -1 times 2. So it's negative x, put the 1 in there if you want, and a -1 times a positive 2 is a -2. Now what do we have to do? I want y all by itself. Add 3. And that will give me y equals mx plus b. We can do it the other way if you'd like, but you're not going to find it easy. Not as easy as this, because this is always the same. So y equals minus x, and a 3 minus 2 is what? Plus 1. And use a calculator if you need to. There it is. Do you want me to do it the way I taught it the first time? That's harder. I think it's harder. A lot more steps. This is the easiest way to do it. I always go point slope, and then if I want y equals mx plus b, then I do that. Unless I'm given the y-intercept and the slope. If they just come out and say, write the equation of a line that has a y-intercept of -5 and the slope is equal to 1/2, then I would use y equals mx plus b. What would that be? Jake, what would that be? Y equals, that's it. I wouldn't go to point slope form in that situation. Now, there's only one other kind of problem you have to worry about. Didn't like that time change, did you guys? And that would be if I had a line that looked like this. I don't know why. Let's make it blue. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That's a vertical line, right? Vertical. What's the slope? Do you remember? No, it's not 0. No slope, that's right. Or I prefer undefined because I get no slope confused with 0 slope. I'll even write that though. No slope. So you can't have a y in the equation. Instead, it's going to look like what? Does anybody know? What's the same every place on this line? Which coordinate? The x or the y? X. We'll call that a. So x equals a. That's for vertical lines. And let's do the horizontal, although horizontal works with anything. And let's put our horizontal line here. Ooh, too big. I don't know if they make them so big, but anyway. Okay. What's that one going to be? What's the slope here? Good job, Ted. M equals 0. There's b. And if I do y equals mx plus b, this is easy. Try to get out of your way here. So y equals 0 times x plus b. So what's 0 times any number? 0. So y equals b. That's for horizontal lines. Now you got everything you need. I'll change it up on you and give you parabolas. No, just lines. And I can leave this up here for you guys that I haven't copied it down. Because I hate to see you get it wrong because you didn't take notes. Because you have everything there that you need for the quiz and for the other little worksheets. So I'll give that to you. Now, we have time tomorrow to work as well. I don't think we're not going to get it done because I want to get it corrected back to you and we need to make corrections. So we'll plan on a quiz test on Wednesday and I'll have another little worksheet for you tomorrow. Does that sound okay? And I'm going to